Guys, this is Mr. Joshy J, and this is your driver ratings and team ratings for the Mexican Grand Prix. Max Verstappen extends his World Championship lead against Lewis Hamilton, and it's looking like he's got one hand on the title. So right, if you're new to this, what I do in driver ratings is I rate their performances over the weekend and also rate the team's performances as well. So, right, let's start off with Red Bull this week, I think. Max Verstappen, 10 out of 10. You know, P1 in FP2, P3 in qualifying, and then P1 in the race. Got the perfect start, slipstream, and he passed both Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas, and it just cruised off into the sunset. There's absolutely no stopping him once he's out in front. Sergio Perez, 10 out of 10. Fantastic, under huge pressure to deliver under the over 300,000 Mexican crowd who put on the great show this weekend. He was P1 in FP3, I think, and then he was P4 in qualifying, then P3 in the race. A great weekend for Sergio Perez. Did really well. Lewis Hamilton, 8 out of 10. P2 in qualifying, P2 in the race. Got off the line well, but both the Mercedes just did not fend off the Red Bulls, and in the end it cost them badly. But thankfully Lewis Hamilton kept Sergio Perez at bay, so yeah, but that's a positive. Valtteri Bottas, 6 out of 10. Really, he's gone from hero to zero. He got off the line well. Looked like he's trying to let Lewis Hamilton through, but then he didn't cover off Max, and then Max just went into the lead. So, it's like that's a bad mistake by Valtteri Bottas not to cover off the Red Bull, because if he moved over to the left a bit more, then he would have fended off the Red Bull and blocked Max Verstappen from getting into the lead. But Bottas was too naive at the start, so yeah, really he's gone from hero to zero, and obviously taken out by Daniel Ricciardo. And then he had a bad pit stop where he sat in the pit lane for about 12 seconds. So definitely weekend to forget about Valtteri Bottas. McLaren, Daniel Ricciardo, 5 out of 10. Really from hero to zero. He had a great qualifying, qualified in the top 10. And then made contact with Bottas at the start. Yeah, it was just a weekend to forget really for Daniel Ricciardo in the end. Lando Norris, 6 out of 10. Really standard weekend, really, for Norris. Still finished in the points, I believe, but went quite long in the race before he made his pit stop. So, yeah, not really standard weekends, but did okay, I guess, Lando Norris. Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, 7 out of 10. Again, solid on Leclerc, absolutely 100% solid. He overtook Carlos Sainz, and then Sainz thought he could have a go at passing another car, but then Ferrari changed positions again, and Leclerc re-overtook Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz, 7 out of 10, again, very good performance by him. I've been impressed with Carlos Sainz recently. He's been very good. Alpine, Fernando Alonso, 7 out of 10. A poor qualifying, but great recovery in the race to finish P9. And also, he had a bad pit stop, so that cost him a bit, but still decent points for Fernando Alonso in the end. Esteban Ocon, 0. Absolute 0. For Esteban Ocon. A weekend to forget for Esteban Ocon. Finish outside the points in the race. Yeah, it's a terrible weekend for Esteban Ocon. AlphaTauri, Pierre Gasly, 10 out of 10. Absolute 10 for Pierre Gasly. P4 in I think it's P5 in qualifying and then P4 in the race. Absolutely fantastic by Pierre Gasly. One of the stars of the season. Mr. Consistent. Just finishing P4. I mean, at times it's a bit boring for him, but he's just minding his own business and finishing P4, which is absolutely sensational by the driver who got dropped by Red Bull and relegated back to the B team. Gasly, Mr. Consistent. Yuki Tsunoda, 6 out of 10. Did well in qualifying, but then unfortunately in the race was sandwiched between the Alpines, and obviously that did not work out for him, and then he retired from the race, so unlucky for Yuki Tsunoda. Aston Martin, Sebastian Vettel, 10 out of 10. Absolute 10 for Sebastian Vettel. You know, P11 in qualifying, then P7 in the race. So, absolutely fantastic performance by Sebastian Vettel. Lance Stroll, 0. Absolute 0 for Lance Stroll. Massive crash in qualifying, delayed qualifying, and then in the race, just P14, absolutely terrible for Lance Stroll this weekend. That was shocking. Alfa Romeo, Kimi Raikkonen, 10 out of 10. Absolute 10 for Kimi Raikkonen. You know, a really good race for Kimi Raikkonen. Finishing the points, superb driving by the finishman. He was coming to the end of his F1 career. Giovinazzi, 6 out of 10, really finished outside the points. A bit of a bang average race for him, to be honest. Haas, Nikita Mazepin, 0. Absolute 0. Again, very angry on the team radio. He wanted to have a go at passing Mick Schumacher in qualifying, but Haas said no, and he's very angry and he replied, "Are you having a laugh?" Yeah, just looking well and truly out his step. Nikita Mazepin, not good enough for F1. Like I say numerous times, only there because of money. That's why he's in F1. Mick Schumacher, 6 out of 10, you know. He out-qualified Nikita Mazepin all weekend, but then unfortunately in the race retired due to being sandwiched again between the Alpines, just like Yuki Tsunoda. So, yeah, disappointing in the end to Mick Schumacher. Williams, George Russell, 0. Absolutely 0. An absolute horrible weekend with reliability. Gearbox problems in the power units, and then absolutely struggled in the race. Just, wow. I bet George Russell can't wait to get out of that Williams car and in that 2022 Mercedes, because that was a horrible weekend to that driver from King's Lynn. Shocking. Nicholas Latifi, 0. Absolute 0 for Nicholas Latifi. Again, a driver who's looking well and truly out of his step. Not good enough. Just poor in qualifying and absolutely no race pace at all. So right, now the driver ratings. Team ratings. Red Bull Racing, 10 out of 10. Absolutely dominated the Grand Prix from start to finish. There's no catching them. Mercedes, I mean, as of a team rating, it's got to be about 5 out of 10, you know, because they've lost loads of points to Red Bull in the battle for the constructors. Hamilton finished P2, but unfortunately for Valtteri Bottas, finished outside of points. But Bottas did get the fastest lap to take the bonus point off of Max Verstappen, so that is one positive, but they've lost massive points to Red Bull and the constructors. McLaren, 6 out of 10. Really a bang average weekend to them, to be honest. Nothing really special. Ferrari, 7 out of 10. You know, both cars finished in the points, so really good performance by Ferrari. And again, massive points gained on McLaren, in the constructors, which that could be crucial. Alpine, I mean, 6 out of 10, good for Fernando Alonso, but poor for Esteban Ocon. AlphaTauri, 6 out of 10, great for Gasly, but disappointing for disappointing for Yuki Tsunoda in the end. Nearly said Mazepin. He drives a Haas. Aston Martin, 6 out of 10. Great for Vettel, but poor for Lance Stroll. Alfa Romeo, again, I say about 6 out of 10. Great for Kimi, but not so great for Antonio Giovinazzi. Haas, I mean, what can you say about them, really? Probably 2 out of 10. Just shocking weekends for them, really. And Williams, to me, the worst team all weekend. So 0. Yep. So that's the driver ratings done. Team ratings done for the Mexican Grand Prix. Races coming thick and fast now with the triple header. Join me later on this week for a preview to the Brazil Grand Prix. One of my favourite tracks on the calendar. I cannot wait for them to go racing in Brazil again. Commenting thoughts down below. I will always reply. And yeah, as I said, join me for the Brazilian Grand Prix weekend. Do a preview, qualifying review, sprint qualifying review, and the race review, and driver ratings and team ratings for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Wow, the crowd puts on a show this weekend at Mexico. Absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure the fans will put on a great show in Brazil as well. Bye-bye.